Hello. I would like to address a Facebook post I made earlier today. Um, it got some mixed reactions, and I want to be very clear why I am dead serious about that post, and it was not a joke. Um, the post said something along the lines of please do not send me messages that just say hi, or you're pretending like you want coaching when your intentions are something else completely. We live in a world full of scammers and predators and stalkers and pedophiles. It has taken me years to publicly open up my social media. And I'm doing it now because of the work I'm here to do and the impact I'm here to have. But for years, I had my social media on private. I almost never really shared much of anything on it. And still, I would have international stalkers, not just domestic, international stalkers who would find my address, find listings from my buildings, and send me views and pictures from those listings for my address. So I take this very seriously, and even more so because of some of the conversations that I have had with women, both mature as well as younger women, who have been targeted, and it is not okay. You know, sometimes we think that predators are only strangers, and I have been targeted myself for trafficking while I was traveling in France. And luckily, I had the instincts and I had the awareness of paying attention to what is going on in my surroundings that I was able to get myself out of that situation. Otherwise, it would have been very bad. I would have not been here. But there are so many predators that I have also dealt with who come in the guise of friends, family, mentors, teachers, priests. These are people we feel like we can trust. And still, they betray us. Like, I have experienced some incredible betrayals where I have felt physical pain after, like, for months after. And every time I think about it after, it still comes up. Okay, so the way that I have seen this, especially when it's someone you know, it is they will become helpful. They'll get to really know what's going on with you. You'll share things you're vulnerable about that you feel like you can't really share with anyone else. They'll start playing with your emotions. They'll make sure that you feel like, yeah, I can trust them. They're there for me sometimes. And then all of a sudden, they'll start pushing their boundaries. They'll push their boundaries, and you'll think something is off, but then you just go, oh, no, but they're doing all these other things. They really do care about me. Until one day they push that boundary so far, they find you off guard, and then it can go really, really wrong. So, yesterday, I was speaking to a friend of mine and her daughter. Her daughter is beautiful. She's going to college. She is talented. She is a kind person. And she's telling us about this producer that is helping her. And every now and then he's using religion and slowly setting seeds with her where certain things are not okay. Yet his son has violated her. And now he is doing certain things where her mom and I are just like, I don't know that his intentions are good. But we are experienced in life at this point. And she herself said, oh, he said this and it didn't make me feel good, or it made me feel a little uncomfortable. And we asked her, well, why are you still there? Why are you still talking to him? And she said, well, he's helping me with this and he's helping me with that. And what I told her is it a one-time thing? Like, there's one thing where someone says something, they're usually helpful, they say something, it's a little bit off, and you're like, that didn't sit right with me, but it's just one time. In those moments, I would say, okay, look in yourself. Why is that triggering you? What about that moment didn't feel right to you? But if you see consistently that you are going and you are meeting with a friend, a whoever, and you're like, I'm not feeling so good about myself after this, or something felt wrong after this interaction with that person, get out. That is your intuition telling you that something is wrong. Do not stick around and wait for validation for something to go wrong, to be like, oh, I should have trusted my instincts. Get out, trust that gut feeling, and go. For a woman, your intuition is probably the biggest superpower you have, and we are taught to silence it. We are conditioned over and over again in life to silence it, from when we were a kid to when we're in school, to our friends, to relationships, to parents. Stop doing that. That is the biggest thing in your life that will keep you protected. I was in France. I was in a country that I did not speak the language. I didn't know anyone there. But something was telling me I was being followed. And so I just went right into my instincts and I said, okay, how do I get myself out of this? Where am I going to be safe right now? Who can I ask for help? But if I just went, that's just my imagination. I hear this so much from people. Oh, that's just in my imagination. Oh, I'm just crazy. No, you're not crazy. That you are not crazy. Your internal instincts are telling you you are in trouble. Get out of this situation. Trust that. Right? If you are meeting with a friend or a mentor or whatever, and they're helping you and they're guiding you, but then you're coming out feeling not so good about it, trust that also. I had a mentor who I knew for 11 years. This was someone who was in a senior executive role at my very first company. We ended up becoming friends over the years. He became a mentor of mine. And suddenly one day I noticed, like, we would meet up when he was in New York, and suddenly one day I noticed, something about him is different. Something about the way he's carrying himself, the conversations we're having, his presence, something is not the same. And lo and behold, the moment he found us alone, he tried to make a move on me. And I didn't say no or anything. I just made sure I kept a distance. And I told him, very kindly, it's time for you to go. Your driver's here. It's time for you to go. And I have never heard back from him. But not even a whole hour before that, he was trying to convince me to join his team into a new role and this and that and the other, because he knew I had been out of work for a while. And then after that, I never heard back from him. So what are people's intentions truly? And not only do you trust your instincts, communicate your boundaries. Make sure it is very much aware. And this specifically is when you know someone personally. If you can do this with someone that you don't know, that's great too. But if you feel like someone is really pushing your boundaries, that you communicate what that boundary is and you stick to it. I think the biggest problem that I see, and this is something that I am guilty of as well, that I have done before several times, and it has gotten me into trouble, where I have a boundary, I communicate it, but I don't stick to the boundary. Or, I get loosey-goosey about it. No, be very clear and firm. So when we were talking to my friend's daughter yesterday. She said, oh, well, he's nice and he's helping me and this, that, and the other. And one of the things I asked her is like, what is that actually getting you? Why are you trusting him? And, both your mother and I are telling you that this guy is up to no good. He does not have the right intentions. And she said, okay, I'll block him because you guys are telling me. And I was like, no. You don't block him because we're telling you. We're just kind of showing you how to trust your own instincts. No matter if it's your mother, if it's your friend, if it's your sister, if it's whoever, your dad, it doesn't matter. The goal is we need to start training our children to trust their own instincts, not to rely on us to be there. We will not be there with them all the time. Okay, so the other thing to be very cautious about is, and this is very easy to do, again, guilty of doing this, is you get so scarred with experiences over and over and over again of being betrayed by people that you think you can trust. And you become so hardened. I have had people who said, oh, you're just too nice. You're just too trusting of everyone. And the thing is now, I'm not nice and trusting of everyone because I'm naive. I am nice and I am trusting people because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. That not everyone is bad, because once you harden yourself so much, you go to an extreme where you never let anyone close. And that becomes a very, very, very lonely journey. That is not a journey you want, because it is going to do the exact opposite of what you want. You want connection, but you're going to start pushing away connection. So it's not that you can't trust anyone. It's about how much do you actually trust yourself. Build that relationship with yourself, right? So if you have a moment where you have a gut feeling that's saying, something doesn't feel right, trust that. Don't abandon that. Most of us are abandoning ourselves, and we're saying that we can't trust other people. The fact is we can't trust ourselves. We can't trust ourselves to make the right decision for us. We can't trust ourselves to follow that intuition that is saying that is not a good place to be. Stay out of that situation, and we put ourselves in that situation anyway. And then we say, oh no, we just got betrayed. No, you betrayed yourself. That's what happened. People say, oh, I don't want to go on dates. You just can't trust men anymore. That's true. But not all men are like that. Not all men are going to take advantage of you. And the thing is, predators are not just men. There are women who are 100% capable of being a predator. So, learn how to trust yourself. Build that relationship with yourself. So when I say we're creating unshakable foundations, this is what I'm talking about. Stop looking for the validation outside. Stop looking to be able to trust and take care of everyone outside of you, be it the president, be it your family, be it your husband, be it your wife, be it your siblings, be it your friends. I don't care. Learn to trust yourself. Learn to make the best decision for yourself. Learn to keep yourself safe. Okay, so I started in one place and I completely ended somewhere else, right? But this is something that I have learned over and over and over again. I have learned it in some very hard and painful ways that I do not want anyone else to experience. So as much as this message is for the people who randomly message and who are predators and pedophiles and scammers, stop it. The message is also for those of you who are saying you're victims. and you're not showing up in the world, you're not playing out fully, you're not doing what you're here to do because, oh my God, it's a scary world, quit it. Quit it. Build your foundation so no one can mess with you. I can be very kind. Most of the time, I am a very kind person. I'm a very understanding person. But if you mess with me, I will not. I will not let it slide. And once you can build that firm grounding and foundation, you don't even have to say anything. Just your presence will communicate. This is my boundary. Do not cross it. So as much as I have had sleazy guys come and try to take advantage of me, there are also some who go, that is not one you mess with. So how are you building your foundation? How are you building your trust with yourself? Because that is what is going to take you the long way. Really knowing who you are, what your values are, what you will and will not compromise with, and communicating it and being firm with it. So if you are trying to figure this out, if this is something you are dealing with, please message me. Yes, you are allowed to message me and tell me that this is what you're dealing with. And I am glad to jump on a call with you and figure out what is going on and how you can go about dealing with certain situations and building that foundation where you become unfuckable with. Okay, that's where you want to be. So good luck. And if you're not following me yet, please follow. If this speaks to you, if this speaks to someone you know and love dearly and you cannot get through to them, please share this with them. Have them reach out to me. And we are in a time where women are allowed to show up. They are allowed to be seen. They are allowed to live freely without having to constantly turn around and watch their back. And that is part of the mission that I am on. I don't just work with women, I also work with men. But some of these things I can definitely, out of personal experience, help you navigate. And that's what I'm here for.